Erik, you ready?
Let's go.
So let's talk about East Bengal and what do they need? Another season, once again, expectation, anticipation, new man in charge.
New man, new hope, new expectations. And I think the city demands a big season. It's been in the Hero Indian Super League for a number of years now. Last year, you felt like things were moving in that direction in, little passages. But I think now, this man, Carles Cuadrat, he has to get it right this year. He's been given the possibility of a 2-year project. Is that going to be the way forward for this club? Not short term. I'm excited to see this new East Bengal. Pula, what about you?
And now I'm excited to watch you interview your former head coach. What do you I want to know how you're feeling about it.
Obviously I've kept in touch with him on, a little piece here and there on messages, but I'm looking forward to asking him the tough questions now, because I was always the one, as one of the players, being under pressure, going to perform. And I love doing it, but I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy asking him these questions. Can you return East Bengal to its, former glory days?
Wow, it's not an easy question to start. You're my friend, Erik. I was expecting something more easy. No, listen. We all know how is football, and we all know that the club has been struggling a lot in the last years. I think that the last trophy was in 2012, so it means long time with a lot of projects, but not even one project has been working. So we cannot, be promising anything, because we know that we have to be realistic. We have started a new project with a lot of new players. So it means that we have to adjust, we have to get the automatism, we have to get the idea of the game that we want to play, and then let's see what happens. What I have to say is, until now, I am very happy with the work of the guys, and I have an understanding what we won during the Durand Cup group stage, and now we have to try to go ahead in the next rounds.
Coach, when did you know you had the East Bengal job? Well, how did that transpire? How did they approach you? When did you say yes? What was that like?
Yeah, it was a few months ago. There was a first talking that they were very kind with me, showing me the project. And from the first conversation, I was really noticing that they want to change the dynamic, that they want to get a project not only 1 year, 2 years, bring my full staff, that it was very important for me. So you can start to work from the minute one. You don't have to prepare the coaches that you are going to meet in the club. You already are going to take advantage of the time from the first training. And also they were with the necessity to bring new players. They were conscious that they have to reinforce the squad, and that's the main points that take me back to India.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned a couple of things that we were just going to ask you about. It's almost like you have my questions with you, which you don't. But I was about to ask you, with East Bengal and especially, and this is because of how the club functions over a period of the number of years it's been in existence. But control for a head coach, having complete control over everything from transfer dealings to how certain things operate on the pitch, especially transfers. Have you had the complete freedom in the transfer market? Have you had the complete control on the signings, and have you changed certain things at the club, how they work?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I have been working from the first day with very good sensations with all the people that I was talking with the management, but also it was very special, the relation with Amoy. From the first moment, the technical director was very clear about what we can get and how we can get it, and I think that we have been together building the new squad. So it's not just a question of me controlling all the club. I have the support of the technical director and in all the clubs all over the world. We are becoming every time more professional in football, and it's very important that coordination between technical director and head coach is happening. And I can say that it's happening here in East Bengal.
Coach, just to go back, because it's been a while since that happened. Number one, let's just come to the feelings about how you felt when you were let go by Bengaluru. And I ask this specifically because there's a new kind of rivalry and a story that is developing between East Bengal and Bengaluru. And it was obviously sparked again by Clayton Silva's performances against Bengaluru last season. And as you know, Erik and I are now in the business of telling stories, and we love this little bit of rivalry. And now just to add to Clayton, we've got a Carlos who is also going to come with East Bengal and face off against Bengaluru. Is there something still lingering there? Do you want to badly beat them? How is your general feeling about your history with that club and now taking over East Bengal and going and playing against them?
Pula, I want to beat any team, all the teams in the league. So Bengaluru, I love that club. It's very clear. It's the club that gave me the opportunity to become head coach, and I have been winning some trophies with the club. I think that we built a really, really top project with the players that we bring, the foreigners, the Indian players. I think that we make a champion team, and it was protagonist for 3 or 4 seasons. I really think that in my last season in Bengaluru, 2021, I think that we were ready to be in the playoffs again, because we were only 1 point away of the playoff position when I left the club after 9 games. And at the end of the season, the team, I would have to say that it was very far away of the playoff. But with me, we were competing and we were ready to be in the 4 top teams. I think that I have the feeling that with the players that we were at that moment, we were ready for that. But we never know because it was not happening, so we cannot say that. What I mean about now playing with East Bengal, I know that it's a good rivalry with Bengaluru. I remember 2017, I was playing I-League and we lost against East Bengal at home and away. Bengaluru was beaten by East Bengal in the 2 games. So I know that it's a very tough opponent, and I know that both teams are giving everything to try to win that kind of match. So I am in that side now. I am very proud to be part of the East Bengal new project, and of course we will try to go to Cantilliba to get the 3 points. Of course, normally.
Good answer. Now, I just want to touch on the fans for a second, Carlos. Obviously, at Bengaluru, they're quite forgiving. They'll back you all the way until the 90th minute, 95th minute. From what I've seen from East Bengal in Kolkata, it's different. How do you feel you're going to be able to handle that pressure? Because do you have to change your philosophy to match the club's expectation? And can you sort of shed light on what the club expects from you, apart from getting results? They want to play free-flowing football. Do they just want to get results? How do you match those two together?
Yeah, I respect totally the feelings of the East Bengal supporters, because it's a long time that they are suffering a bad process and that they are not with the joy of the victory and the sensation that we are in a good process. So I understand, and of course we're going to be under pressure, but pressure is something normal in football. I come from Barcelona roots, you know that, and my work is going to try to change that dynamic. My work is try to wake up everybody in the club and around the club to try to be thinking in positive and to show in the pitch that we want to change that kind of dynamic. Of course, that when the results are not going to be with us, it will start critics, but critics are in Barca, critics are in Galatasaray when I was working there with Rijkaard, and it's in any club, even the clubs that are in the bottom of the league, they receive critics. So I'm ready for that. It's part of football, and I understand completely the opinions of supporters. So we have to be the ones to change that kind of opinion.
Right. Coach, we have a great example in relationship building between a coach and a fan when it comes to Ivan Vukomanovic down at Kerala Blasters. We've had a few other coaches in the past who've done that as well. I believe your relationship with the Bengaluru fans was quite special. What hasn't happened at East Bengal? There's no easy way to say this, but there has been a bit of a failure from the coaching staff and the fans to create a relationship between each other. No coach has managed to capture the imagination of East Bengal fans, till a level where they feel connected with the man on the touchline, with the man in charge. Do you think you're going to work harder compared to those who have gone by over the last few years to build a connection with these fans who you, as you recognize, have been suffering for some time? They almost need a kind of messiah. How are you going to deal with that relationship?
No pressure.
Right. What I can say is that after the victory in the derby, I have received a lot of very nice message from the supporters. I go to the supermarket and there is always some guy that say to me and say, "Coach, thank you," So you can feel in the street that people is happy. Our work is to keep them happy until the end of the season, to work for that. I can see that Calcutta is a city of football. I have to say, I have a wonderful relation in Bengaluru with the supporters, Baseball Blues, all the guys. There was guys traveling with us, but in Calcutta it's in any corner. They really live the football. They really is a city with half of the people with Bohum Bagan and half of the people with East Bengal, but it's from generations, from fathers to kids. It's something that is in the air, and it's very nice to be part of that. I'm very happy because of that.
It's very good to see you excited about the job.
Coach, obviously I worked with you for 4 seasons, 3 when you were the head coach. What fascinated me, looking back now, coming out of the game, was your ability to change the style of the way the team played, particularly in that second last season before COVID. And we didn't have really a striking option. We had to play on the counter-attack, and we won a lot of games 1-0. People always talk about your set pieces, and obviously I thought they were quite effective because I was on the end of most of them. But people gave you that nickname, that tag of Carlos set piece and set piece FC. Watching East Bengal last season, their identity wasn't there. So, do you think you're going to have to change a lot more from where you've come from in the ISL, because you can show 2 or 3 ways of how you can play already? Is there something else that we don't expect that you're going to show this season with East Bengal?
As much things you have under control, much possibilities you have to win the game. No? And I know that there is a lot of talkings about that I am a set piece coach. It's not like this. It's just that set piece is one more part of the game. And if you don't control it, you are in risk, because all the teams are working that, and you have to be strong in that. A lot of games we are working with some different tactics, but I'm agree with you, Erik. We have to be ready to play with different opponents that they have different strategies. So I am not a coach that believes in only one system. I think that against some opponents, you have to change a little bit the system to try to take advantage of that. So it's what we are doing here in East Bengal, but it takes some time because a lot of things have to be worked in tactics to really adjust that, and then we will be able to work in the 4-3-3, in the 4-2-3-1, in the 4-4-2, in the 3-5-2. I mean, we can do a lot of things, but it's not going to happen in 1 month.
Coach, talking about Dimas Delgado, obviously he was one of your favourites at Bengaluru, and it was, that whole...
The other one was real.
I sense... Carlos, were you not good as good to Erik as you were to Dimas? Because I clearly sense that there was a favourite here.
I meant it in the nicest possible way. You could see the trust that you had in Dimas, and rightly so, senior member from Barcelona, he knew how to get the message across, right? So I could see that relationship becoming stronger and stronger, and it was always going to happen that you worked together. When did you know he was ready for this job, and when did you know it was the right time to pull him into management?
Yeah, we all know that any football have some special things, and the ones that we have been professionals in India, we know that it's not an easy league. Indian Super League, it has been full of really top coaches that have come here and they have crashed because you have to understand the mentality of the Indian players, the mentality of the Indian referees also because they are part of the game, the mentality of the clubs, supporters, and also the speed of the game, the things that are going to work well or not. So he must have that baggage. He must have been here a lot of time, so he knows how is Indian Super League. So when that project arrives to me, I have, of course, another possibilities of another assistance, and I was checking which can be the best for that kind of project, and Dimas was always in the first position for that. Also, he was playing the last 2 seasons in Barcelona in a team that it was like a kind of retirement for him. So I was having the sensation that maybe he was ready, to just stop to play and to start his career as a coach. And yeah, we have a conversation there in Barcelona. I give him 2 days to think about that. He was talking with his wife and doctor, and finally the family decision was that he can
Nice.
come with me. So I am really grateful also
Yeah.
to the family. That's important.
But something that intrigues me, coach, is when someone who the relationship of coach and player, and then eventually now of coach and assistant. And at that one point a few years ago in a club, Dimas was in a way duty bound to listen to you and your instructions. Have you had a conversation with him when you decided to have him as assistant that, hey, now you're not my player anymore. Now I want real feedback, and disagreements are a big part of that feedback. Do you think how does that equation change when it becomes from coach player to coach and assistant?
Yeah, but it was like this before. Pula, I have to say you, and Erik knows that I have a lot of communication with players because I was a player. I know what is happening inside of the pitch, and most of the times the player have real sensations that you from the bench maybe are not so clear for you. So always I ask to them, what are you feeling? What do you think with that opponent? What can we do? So there is a lot of communication. Dimas was a kind of coach already when he was in Bengaluru. And
Yeah.
Erik can remember, every half time of any match, I go inside and players, what do you think? What you see inside, So that's very important. You cannot be thinking in your own world that all the solutions are in your head. The players are living in life. What is the problem that the other team is getting to you? So you have to find the solution and talk about what we can do for the second half to be better. And I think, honestly, that it has been working well for us. That a lot of games we were winning in the second half of the game because maybe we adjust something, we made the right changes in the team, and we were at the point.
Just back to your coaching style and what you have to change, maybe or not change. When you left, the foreign rule was obviously a bit larger. There was a lot more onus on the foreign players. Now, the last couple of seasons that even I've been working on the TV, you can see the shift now with the onus is now on the Indian players, and the level of the Indian players has grown and grown because those key positions, they're being filled now by Indians that are in the striker position, the number 6 position. We see that happening quite a lot. You don't have a Sunil, you don't have a Gurpreet now, where their level, to be quite honest, was like one of a foreigner. Are you now finding that the first couple of weeks you've been there, you've had to really put more into the Indian guys, or have you noticed any sort of shift in the pattern?
Well, I can see that players are improving a lot in India. I think that Indian Super League brings that possibility to bring good foreigner players, to bring good foreigner coaches, and the smart Indian players are catching it and improving really really fast. So we are building a team that I think it will be competitive with the foreigners and with the Indian players that we have, and we have two players for all the positions. So at the end is just to show that you have to be the option number one in that position. And of course, East Bengal, for example, last season was with some situations that were not going well for them. For example, they were a team with a lot of inexperienced players. They were winning some games 2-0, and finally they concede 2-2 or 3-3 even sometimes. They were the team with less yellow cards in the competition, in the Super League. So it means that there was, a little bit naive way to approach to the game. I have a lot of respect for everybody in football, and I have a lot of respect for Stephen Constantine. He was doing his best with the team that he has at that moment. But I can see that with the players and the message that we're giving to them now, we have to be more consistent in the way we were competing. And I am satisfied of what we have been doing until now. Let's see how it's going to be the real competition for us when Indian Super League starts. But until now, I think that we have been playing against the Indian Super League champion of the last season, and we make a good competitive match. And we have been playing against the I-League champion of the last season, and again it was a good competitive match. So let's see if we can be there fighting for the points in every match.
Yeah, I mean, just that's the biggest pressure, isn't it? You can be a good coach and go there and have all the thoughts and ideas in the world, but really up there, it's like being in Barcelona. If you don't win that derby game straight away, then questions are asked. So it's great you've got off to a good start, Carlos, and we wish you well, and we hope that you can bring East Bengal up into those playoff positions this year, and I'm sure you will.
If we lost again Mohun Bagan, we will be now in a very different situation. And everyone here in the town will be thinking, oh, maybe again a project that is for nothing. So it's always results. But I hope that we have a long way in front of us with the next Indian Super League, with the next Super Cup, and then the second season, the season that it has been happening in a lot of clubs, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur, Chennai, that when they are consistent in the project, they reach finals, they reach the biggest stages, So it's about to give the opportunity to the squad and to the staff to do their work, and when you trust in a process, normally, if it's in the right hands, it gives results at the end.
So that was Carlos Cuadrat. And we hope that episode brought the East Bengal fans closer to the new man in charge. He's already won a Kolkata derby. He's already taken the club to the Durand Cup final and narrowly lost out on another tough Kolkata derby. But East Bengal fans have so much to look forward to. And we wish Carlos Cuadrat and the entire club a lot of good luck from off the pitch.